I'm running, I'm running, I'm running.
Hi, I'm Marcus Coward, and this is Wake Up New Bedford, and I'm here with Wise. Wise, thanks again for being here.
Of course, my pleasure.
So, where does that name come from, Wise?
So it came from this sort of process of rebranding that I did
Okay.
on a personal level, because initially my producer name was the Maestro.
Okay.
Because I love to inform, I love to teach, I love to spread information, I love to learn as well. And so I felt like that was very fitting for a minute. And then at some point, I was thinking, more so about my approach to, networking and the whole social media aspect. So I wanted something that was, meaningful, obviously, but also easy to find.
Sure.
So that's why I put the X in it instead of the I. So
Okay.
you put WXSE in Instagram and I pop up.
Easy.
No matter where I'm at. And so that was part of it. But then on a deeper level, it was about honing my passion. I see a lot of artists who are very passionate about what they do, and they chase it full throttle. And I'm a risk taker myself, and I won't say that that's the wrong thing to do, but at the same time, you have to be calculated about it. There has to be a level of experience and wisdom that come with, taking that passion and packaging it into something that, you can then go and pursue a career in the creative industry. And so Wise sort of became my reminder to, be passionate and love what I do, but also to think critically and always be receptive to information regarding anything in life, but more particularly within the realm of entertainment, because there's always something to learn. The game is always changing. And it takes a lot of brain power to create and push as an artist or as a collective in the creative industry, especially as an independent. It hasn't been an easy thing to do. It's become a bit easier, but at the same time oversaturated. But yeah, Wise is, sort of my reminder to myself, but also, a good descriptor for the type of artist I am, where, I can make great music, but beyond that, the science behind the music as well, that's
Sure.
something that very much interests me, and I think it's an integral part of being an artist.
And you need to be wise in order to be successful. You have to
Right.
learn, adapt, and continue to innovate.
Absolutely.
And so with being successful, talk to us about this Grammy nomination. What an accolade that so many people don't have. It's so nice to say, though.
So-
That's very impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty random, to be honest.
Okay.
So I want to say this was the second year that I was producing, and I had linked up with my buddy Oprod, who was
Oh, yeah.
another producer in the area. And so we got really close. Him and his brother started Hegemon Music, which is a label / studio over in the West End. And they taught me a lot. Like, there would be days where we would go to the studio and his brother would put on a 2-hour mixing tutorial. And this would go on for weeks. Like, this would be
Okay.
like 3 days out the week for maybe a whole summer, where like we would go into the studio, and before we touch a DAW, it's just watching mixing tutorials and production
Trying to
tutorials. Learning, yeah. And so my buddy had a connection with Maxi Priest's son. I'm not sure how he made it.
Okay.
I think it was just through music. They connected through social media.
Who's Maxi Pre?
Maxi Priest is a reggae artist primarily. I don't know what other fields he works in, but I reggae, R&B
Sure.
kind of vibe.
Sure.
And so his son had reached out to us to make some fun, sort of bouncy summery feeling
Sure.
type of deal. So we went into the studio that day. I think we actually, we used the chord progression from Slide by Frank Ocean and Calvin
Sure.
Harris.
Great song.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
So we took the progression, we broke it down, sort of refashioned it and created this track. And we sent it back. Maxi Priest and Bounty Killer were the two artists on it, and it was nominated for Reggae Song of the Year.
Oh wow!
So
that's
that was,
great.
yeah, that was like a pretty crazy thing because I'm thinking, this is just another day in the studio. We're just making beats. Not too long before that, he had gotten one of his tracks as a potential on Logic's Everybody album.
Oh wow!
They didn't end up using it,
Sure.
but it's like, it's there.
And it has
the
that
connections
potential.
are there, right?
Yeah.
And so when he called me and told me that we got nominated, I was like, whoa. Whoa.
Yeah,
that was
must have felt crazy.
But it was more so than anything that boost of confidence that I needed to where like, I love the things that I create, but it shows that it has appeal on different levels as well. So that was...
When you made that, did it sound... did it feel better, sound better? Did it feel different when you were making it compared to all the other music? Like, when you finished it, did it possibly feel like, all right, this could go somewhere?
It's just another beat, to
Just
be honest.
another beat?
It was
Wow,
just
okay.
another beat, because it really wasn't even the genre that I like working in. It was like some real, like chill. I think it was like 100 BPM, like R&B type of vibe, but it was still bright. It was summery.
Yeah.
Not something that I would listen to per se, but it was like it was they were very descriptive in what they wanted, and so we made that, and then we just went on to the next beat, and probably made 5 more that day, and eventually we got that call, and I was like, wow.
Now, a Grammy nomination sounds really nice, and it must be really validating, but has it been able to open up any doors opportunity-wise, or less than you've expected?
Yeah, no, not really. To be honest.
Yeah, okay.
It was something that happened, it was something that I was able to add to my credentials.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, as far as I know, I haven't. No one's reached out just off the strength that I was Grammy nominated.
Yeah, sure.
It's like it's a badge of honor, But I think after that, everything sort of continued at the same pace. I thought that it meant more than it did, but it was humbling but validating at the same time, and that was also very eye-opening as to what really has to be done to create buzz around an artist or a track or anything of that nature in the
What do you mean? Talk about
industry.
That. Like, what does need to be done?
So, I mean, outside of the very anomalous, songs that end up on TikTok going viral, there is a very much like calculated and concerted effort into campaigning for music, and so this is something that I'm learning now as a manager. I'm managing artist Dangerous Money out of Jamaica Plain. Okay. And he has a few hits right now. He has a few hits that he's made, and us and our team, we feel very confident with the material. Okay. But that's like 5% of what has to be done to actually get him to where he could be. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of networking, meeting DJs, trying to get it spun, get it out there, putting together his electronic press kit, every single professional aspect of what needs to be done, so when that attention does come and someone like Jamin wants to spin his track, they're not going to spin some random track who doesn't have an EPK, you don't have a landing page, your management is lackluster, you're not consistent, like there's a lot of things that go into it.
A whole machine behind it and a whole team.
Exactly, exactly. A lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of networking. It's really talking to people more than anything, like being in the spaces where the movers are.
Sure.
You know, if you need your stuff played on the radio, you need to go figure out where your local radio DJs frequent and, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
rub some shoulders and kiss some babies.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah.
So that sort of thing. And it's a slow grind, especially as independents. We don't have the capital that a label does, to where it's like if they found Dangerous Money, they'd be like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna put you in a 360. We have all the connects already. You know, the A&R is gonna be out there finding him a producer to lock in with, having a budget from the label to go break off 5 racks to this radio station and that radio station to make sure that his stuff's getting played on the hour, every hour. Like, that kind of, those are the kind of resources that we're missing, but that's where the networking and the relationships tie in, because it's like when you can put yourself in a room with those people and you know, belong there and have some value, you know what I mean? That those conversations take a different tone, and making that progress starts to look a little bit different. And so that's what I'm working on now, and that was really what that showed me. And truthfully, I'm grateful too, because if we did blow up off of that song, we wouldn't have known what to do. I won't lie.
Yeah, I get what
like,
you mean.
You would have, you know, and once the buzz happens, you gotta keep going.
Yep.
Once you start to heat up, like you gotta keep stoking that flame
And back it up with something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can't just come out with one hit and expect that to carry your whole career. Like it's a consistency thing and a longevity thing. And you know, a lot of these artists that we think just pop out of nowhere, like a Tommy Richmond,
I was just
for example.
thinking that. Yeah.
Like,
Puts in work.
You think that like that song just blew up off TikTok and that just made his whole career. Like, no, he's been in the lab grinding for years. You know what I mean?
Or even like Doechii. A lot of people may think,
Right.
you know, but she's been
Right.
vlogging, doing a lot of stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
People be calling her industry plant. Like, bro, you just don't even know.
You have no clue.
Yeah, literally.
The type of work that goes on behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
It's
But that's what it
really,
takes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, and I do want to talk to you more about management, but I want to learn more about that transition between being a producer, management, but you're also a DJ.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Do you feel like that's random, or explain that a little bit? How did you get started with that?
So I mean, obviously being a lover of hip hop, you know, the DJ is an integral part. If you look at the roots of hip hop, the MC was the original rapper. You know, when you talk about Kool Herc and like the real roots of hip hop music, it was they were spinning break beats and basically spitting poetry on it. You know what I mean? Keeping the party alive, but they were also real clever with the words.
Yeah, and rhyming. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that was always an inspiration, always something that I wanted to get into. And so at some point in time, I think this was about a year before I left for college, we went halves on a little digital deck and started to learn how to DJ, just because it was something that we loved to do. And eventually we just started taking local gigs, and that was a little side hustle that we were doing for a minute, but something that I still take up today, and I'll still DJ.
And so you're saying do you have like a partner you do it with?
Oh, well, yeah, so back then it was me and Oprod.
Okay, sure.
Before I left for school. Now, you know, depending on what I'm doing, I sort of have people that, you know, I'm working with production. It's my boy Draco. Best producer I've ever met, hands down.
Okay.
Disgusting. It'll be, my buddy Draco, my buddy Doug. They helped me out with a lot of stuff. Mikey Montero is another one. You know, he took me in under his wing and showed me a lot about
Interesting.
Event curation and the technical side of putting together a venue, which is something that's also very slept on. It's a very technical, very tedious job. Yeah. And when it's done right, the results are immaculate.
And worth it.
Absolutely. And so, and he's been hooking me up with the DJ gigs too.
Okay.
So, Yeah, it's really just dependent on what I'm doing, who I'll get around. You know, with the marketing and the management, I have my artists out in Jamaica Plain, and then I have I'm connected to a guy out there who's sort of a marketing guru, like a real
Okay.
real just brainiac when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so he's been, you know, helping me in that aspect and with the marketing. I also have an internship with him for marketing that I'm getting credits for in college right now.
And so, this artist in Jamaica Plains, how did you guys even connect?
Through the Sound Lab in Brockton, actually.
Okay.
So they had these events every week, every Tuesday night, called the Testing Lab, where it's basically like a pass the aux type of event where you could go as a producer, an artist, and showcase 3 of your projects, and then they have a panel of judges who are, you know, vetted, industry experienced producers, engineers, lyricists, you name it. And so, yeah, I was over there. Me, Draco, and Ricky were going to those pretty frequently, and so one day, Dangerous Money is there, and he goes up, and he's an older cat, mid-30s. And so, like, I'm expecting some, like, you know, like some, like, Griselda-esque type of sound, and he comes and, like, hits us with this, like, real soulful, melodic sound, and I was like,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And so, like, at that point, management wasn't even on my radar, to be honest. I rocked with him, and, like, I was thinking, you know, doing some production for him. And so we spoke after the Testing Lab that day, and, you know, moving forward, that's just kind of how the relationship grew. You know, I was like making him some beats, and he was like talking about how he needed management, and you know, he put me on with the marketing dude, and then sort of from that sequence of events, I fell into this spot where it's like, okay, like, I'm starting to understand why I'm here. You know, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. So having the opportunity to manage him and sort of understand all of the ins and outs of pushing an artist and understanding what really goes into getting your artist on the radar it's been really, you know, fruitful in what I've learned, and also just the networking opportunities that have come of it. We did the Get on High Street interview with Dallas Rose a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And, you know, we just have little things popping up here and there, drop mics, public appearances. He does like he works with like local charities in the area and does community events. They give out like food and clothes to the kids and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been really great in a lot of aspects and really just informative. I've been learning a lot. So.
And you see your career moving more so in the managing part rather than being like a producer full time or even a DJ full time?
Yeah, I think for the time being, you know, management will probably be where I primarily reside in the entertainment realm, outside of, you know, advertising and promotion, because that's something else that I'm cooking up on.
Okay.
But yeah, management is definitely something that, you know, it's very labor intensive, but I enjoy it. You know, I like interacting with people. I like figuring out how I can help, and especially with something like, you know, pushing somebody's music, it feels like there's a real cause behind it, and his music has a message as well. You know, he speaks a lot on, you know, the being misguided as youth and, you know, making the wrong decisions, and as young adults, you know, not being the best example for the next generation, but, you know, coming back at a older, more mature age and righting those wrongs and doing right by the community. And so that's like, you know, that's something that really resonates and something that I can get behind. And
Sure.
And so, yeah, it's really been, you know, it's something that I see myself doing for a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think the production will you know, I want to let the production really grow organically. You know, I don't want to utilize these opportunities as a manager to get around these artists and be like, oh yeah, I'm a producer too. Like, I don't want it to be like that. You know what I mean? So, as far as the production goes, it's something that's a slow grind, but you know, it's like slow cooking. You know, it's like a brisket.
It's got to take time, but it'll be worth it if you do it right.
Absolutely.
So there are so many New Bedford artists, period, like who just make music. You know, some are more successful than others. Are there any on your radar right now that you're trying to work with or would like to, or that's a little bit more in the future, or maybe something that?
There's a couple on my radar right now.
Yeah.
My homegirl Tamari, she's very, very talented, beautiful voice, and very very business minded too. Very much a hustler. I'd love to do some work with 508 Kenji. He's pretty dope.
Oh sure, yeah,
he came onto my radar recently. I love that rock star vibe. That's dope.
Okay.
Ricky, obviously, like that's my dog.
Really?
And I definitely see myself doing some work with him because he's someone that like we, as far as like a sonic match, like we definitely like work. You know, it would definitely take some adjustment production wise to, you know, cater to either of those other two artists.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
As of right now, that's really it for this area. I definitely do need to keep my ear to the street.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as artists, you know, I'll always keep an eye out, and it's not always for production because there's, you know, a lot of good bands out here too. If you're familiar with the Morrissey Boulevard band,
yeah, I am.
They're awesome. Grand Viewpoint is another one. They're pretty sick. And then a lot of like instrumental, like just instrumentalists out here that are really proficient in, you know, the sax or guitar player, drummers.
Sure.
There's like those kind of artists, and I definitely have been paying attention to some of those as well, trying to see how I can tie it all in.
And so there are a lot of really talented musicians, artists here, but with how many there aren't as many who become successful in the ways that they want. Why do you think that is? Is it a lack of A&Rs? Is it a lack of management, a lack of promotion, or is it something else that has to do with like New Bedford culture that you've noticed?
That's a good question. It's multiple things. I've noticed with a lot of artists, first and foremost, the ego is a very big thing. You know, I see a lot of artists that'll, or people that consider themselves rappers or artists that really just do it to be cool. You know what I mean? It's for the look. It's so that you can record a song and make a music video and show your friends. You know what I mean? Like,
is it really? Like, a lot of people are, it's like that?
I've seen that a lot. Yeah. It's like they'll post it on their socials, and you know, they got the, you know, artists in their bio and the, you know, the music videos and stuff, but outside of just making and releasing music, they're not doing anything.
Sure, because like you said, it's so much more. The team, the process.
That's like making the song is 10% of the whole thing. So, you know, like
interesting.
It's the business infrastructure as well. There's not very many professional resources out here to push your music, even if you wanted to. You know, and I think that's another thing as well, as like, they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And from here, we haven't really had someone make it out of this area. You know, outside of Bam Bogey in recent years is one. He's with Griselda now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one recent one that I can think of. But before that, it was like the Tavars.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're talking about quite a gap in time since we've seen any, like, you know, real, I won't say professionalism, because there definitely are professional musicians, but professionalism on the business front, as far as, you know, A&Rs, managers, PR firms.
Yeah.
There's none of that out here, and I've only started to like see what we really need from going to Boston and sort of being in the thick of it, because that's something that's missing as well. There's very little business out here that deals with artists or even knows how to. So it's like you can't completely blame the artists. You know, there's really no one to blame. It's really it's things that just aren't there for us yet. But
Yeah.
that's my whole plan is to over time develop, you know, the infrastructure needed to where if you're an artist that's truly passionate about what you do and you love what you do and you're seeking excellence in your craft, there will be resources for you to get exposed and network yourself with the right people.
Sure.
And then it's the other thing is just is wanting it. Like, how much does any individual really want it? Because, you know, I know my path and where I feel I'm meant to go in life, and that's why I do what I do. I'm out in Boston 2 to 3 times a week, networking, going to events, going to listening parties. You know, just doing those things that are necessary to make those connections and go where I want to go.
Yeah.
But it's like you gotta want it yourself. You know, and as a manager too, I can't want it more than you do as an artist.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
And that's another thing. Like, the motivation out here isn't very high, but understandably so, because it's like, okay, you can be great, but where do you go?
Yeah.
You know?
Where's that infrastructure to be like, all right, I want to succeed and might even have the work ethic, but like you said, where do you go?
Exactly. And all it takes is someone like me, where it's like, yo, like you could be an up and coming rapper and you have, you know, a solid pen, your sound selection is good, and, you know, you have all the attributes of, you know, what could be a great artist. And all I'd have to do is pull up my calendar and tell you about the next 5 events that are happening for local artists that are probably not in New Bedford. You're probably gonna have to travel a little bit, go to Boston, Lowell, that area. But you're gonna meet the people that you need to know to continue to make strides in your career
and get your music out there.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not just about making the song in the video to show it to friends here. Let's show it to people to make you bigger.
Exactly. And not only just people, but the people who actually have some kind of pull or are movers in the game, people who have the connections that can help you.
And have a machine behind them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you might not meet the label off rip, or you might not meet the killer manager that's just out here pushing out artists, but you know, you might meet someone and now you're 6 degrees of separation away from the person who can put you exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, that A&R or that producer or someone who, like you said, who's 6 degrees, but who can get you inside that door.
Yeah, absolutely. Relationships are everything.
Everything. Wise, thank you.
Absolutely, bro.
I feel like I learned a lot. I'm super excited for people to watch this, to learn more from you, because I've interviewed a lot of artists and like artist adjacent people, DJs, but you know, you're probably the first manager I've been able to have a conversation with, and that's such an aspect that's missing in that business mindset. So hopefully people can learn from it, and actually we can really start to build something. You know, like I want it in. Maybe I'm in a different lane, but I want it like just as bad as so many people. Like, I love music and I want us to succeed.
Absolutely.
You know?
We need something to come out of the city. There's so much talent,
potential.
So much potential.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It really is.
But
really
if we keep working, you know, like, it'll happen. You know, at some time it will, and with the right people and with the right mindset. I honestly do have faith. So thank you. Keep up the work, and I'm really excited for what you have in store. So everyone, this has been Wise. You learned so much about his music. Look out for it. Look out for his artists, and find him on social media. Reach out to him, and let's make something happen.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much for watching. Catch us on the next episode. Peace.